If I have no family history, I exercise, I do all the right things, do I still have a chance of having a heart attack? I'm Dr. Ravi Ratan Kasliwal, and I chair the Department of Clinical, Preventive, Non-Invasive Cardiology, which also encompasses acute care cardiology at Medanta, the Medicity. I wish you all the very best on the World Heart Day, and not only for this World Heart Day, for all heart days to come. If we take cognizance of things today, every day will be a good heart day. If I have no family history, I exercise, I do all the right things, do I still have a chance of having a heart attack? My answer is, with a capital Y, yes, you still can. Because of stress and because of factors inside the body. For example, even mild obesity can give rise to a stage of inflammation in the body. What is inflammation? You know it. Something bits you on your palm, see how it pains you. Same kind of inflammation can take place in the heart. And therefore, for many years, when we propounded the principle of Mission Save Heart, we said women over 30, men over 25, South Asians, Indians I'm talking about, should have their first checkup done. At least you will know whether you're diabetic, your cholesterol levels are high, or your ECG is abnormal. At least a hint you will get at that time. And then as you go along, maybe your doctors will say, no, things are good. Let me see you in 3 years. Others people say 5 years. Sometimes the doctors may say, no, you are 30, but you still need a coronary calcium or a stress echocardiography. So your chances are less, but the chances are always there because of factors which are inflammatory in the body itself. And we have all seen examples like this. People who've been doing treadmills and doing all kinds of things. And well, food, what can say? They were eating the best kind of food. And yet they had a problem, and a big problem at that. I can tell you, an ECG, just an ECG, can give us a lot of information on sudden cardiac death. Just by a parameter called QTC. It's not complicated. The guy who knows how to read it will tell you in 2 minutes that look, you have prolonged QTC or you have a pre-excitation syndrome. This is not to frighten anybody, but this is awareness. Just as the people of IT and the people of finance come and tell us, okay, sir, this is how it is, this is how you'll get a message, this is how you will operate. Similarly, the people whose specialty it is are telling that, well, this is the way to go. If a patient has a heart attack, recognizes it fast, reaches a facility which can either give a clot buster drug or now and it can do an angioplasty, the patient has survived. But let me take you 3 steps backwards. The patient thinks that he has a heart attack. If you come in my emergency room, the patients who come with heart attacks, 80 to 90% say, sir, I'm sorry, I thought it was acidity and I used to have it. And so I used to pop in the pills and the pain used to disappear. That was all angina. So this question is not tricky, but there are caveats to this question. Recognition by the person who's undergoing it is very important. Just day before yesterday, I saw a patient who went to his doctor and said, look, I'm not well, I've got a pain. He said, nahi yaar, ECG theek hai, it's okay. When he comes to us 2 hours later, a full-blown heart attack had taken place. So people have to be very wary of these. They should know the symptoms. And if they've been having acidity also, take somebody's opinion. Is it only acidity or am I having a heart problem, or do I have a propensity to have it? What will they do? They will check out your blood. They'll maybe do a functional testing. They'll know what it is. So this question, will I survive a heart attack, can be answered simply. Yes, 60 minutes, the golden hour. You are in my emergency room. I will take you to the cath lab and open your arteries. This sounds simple. Many times it happens also like that. But you have to see that where have you reached, what facility that center has, and what is the operator skill. It makes a lot of difference. A high volume area, operator skill will be higher. A low volume area, and also the whole team is geared to it. So I'm not hedging this question, but I'm saying that there are caveats to it. And of course, that many people believe in the 5 Rs, the right person, the right doctor, the right place, the right time. Well, it sometimes works. But I always feel one thing: could we have prevented it? Of course, there are many things in which you cannot prevent, despite the best. But sometimes I do feel a 40-year-old person, 35 years old person, could he just have had a checkup done? Because this myth that women don't have it and it doesn't occur in young people is actually a myth. Don't compare this to what is happening in the West. In the West, people have already conquered acute MIs. The rates are coming down because of preventive strategies, and it occurs to them in older people. We South Asians are different. We will also become like that one day, only if we believed in that there are risk factors which can make us aware, and if we believe in the fact that, some form of exercise, some form of testing is essential on a yearly or 2-yearly basis. Symptoms of heart attack, if you ask a third-year student, medical student, he will say it's a pain behind the breastbone, and the pain will radiate to the left jaw and will go to the left shoulder, and the person will have a feeling of anger amniai, as they say, impending doom. Well, such classic symptoms, I'm not saying are rare, but not so common. So, pain in the chest region, above the diaphragm, a general feeling of not being well. You see, sometimes you go to an office, the person has taken off his tie, and he says, yeah, look, I'm not well, and he's sweating a little bit. Sometimes the pain may be in the abdomen. Sometimes the pain may actually be like a acidity pain. But you know what acidity is, and you know when you're having an impending heart attack. So the symptoms are clear. Which are the category of people who have to watch out that classical symptoms may not be there? Number one are diabetic patients. 30 to 40% of diabetic patients will not have the usual patients, but they may just have sweating, or may just have fatigue, or just have shortness of breath on exertion. Atypical presentations. And such atypical presentations are also seen in lady patients, in women patients. So what I tell in my class on preventive cardiology is that the person should come and tell me, sir, I have now not felt this sensation before. This at once should make us aware that something is going wrong. And a first ECG being normal does not rule it out. Right? So symptoms are typical, symptoms are atypical, and symptoms are non-cardiac. This is how we work in the emergency room. That's how we teach our students. What restrictions come after the heart attack? I would say none. If you reached a facility where you had within the golden hour, your artery was opened up, your heart function has returned to normal, then I wouldn't call them restrictions. I would say that now you have a new healthy lifestyle you are following, which means absolutely absence of quitting smoking, a low-fat diet. I mean, you're living healthy, if you know what I mean. And calories are well defined. Regular exercise, and here I may emphasize the role of exercise and yoga put together. They don't have an additive effect, they have a multiplier effect. Either doesn't work, both work. You are a busy executive, you have things lined up. If you were saying in the morning to your family, look, 40 minutes is my time, it's me time, it'll make so much difference. They also understand that you are on the edge all the time, and we want you to go back to that kind of, to get back to your life. But a 15-minute period in which you have done yoga, in a 45 minutes to 50 minutes time when you have done exercise, will make all the difference. About diet, what can I say? Every newspaper, whichever vernacular you may take, is full of low fat, low salt. These are not mere words. One study called the Interheart study, apart from the classical risk factors, defined one very important thing, which took me also by surprise. Not eating enough vegetables and fruits is an important risk factor. So you see, the person comes to you with a heart attack and says, sir, मैं तो vegetarian था, I was a vegetarian throughout my life. That doesn't mean, were you following it? Were your potassium levels fine? Sodium levels should be on the lower side, potassium may be right level. It makes a lot of difference. But of course, in those people, there's a good question asked, restrictions. If those people whose heart function has come down, they didn't believe they were having a heart attack, they reached the heart and they had the same procedure, but now the heart function is around 35 to 40%, which should be 55 to 60%. There, we will definitely say, you do your physical activity in the morning and then restrict yourself, because if it is 35% heart function, you're like, just if you exercise excessively, you're likely to deteriorate your heart function. That's important. So there, at each level, whether the heart function is 40 to 45, 45 to 30, your guide will be your doctor, and of course you will come back to normal. If the heart muscle is still functional but became temporarily dysfunctional, you will come back. But the idea is to recognize it, and the idea is never to suppress a symptom. Even in a busy meeting, if you felt suffocated, it has to be something, because the rooms are all air conditioned, people are, so you have to watch out for those signs. But it doesn't mean that you are in any way or form you have just become a patient. No. It's like you're in a busy street, you have to see both right, left and center to be able to just drive your car safely. Same thing you have to do in real life.